Good morning. It is day 5 of working on the ceilings. Let me show you what we've done so far. If you haven't seen the other videos, then go back and watch part 1 and part 2 because we've done a lot. Let me show you. We started in the living room. We have all of this done. If you've seen the other videos, we had a faux beam there that we removed. We had originally left the plank there, I don't know what to call it, the piece of wood there that supported the faux beam. Anyways, we ended up removing that and just continuing the planking through. We are kind of leaning towards not putting a faux beam back up. We're kind of liking the openness of it, so we'll see at the very end. But we've gotten all the way to this light fixture where Chris is at. We put, on the last video, these 4 recessed lights in. You know what I just realized?
What?
We matched today.
Oh man. Oh.
I got the V-neck going on though.
I got the baby shorts up, but I
Oh,
was
yeah?
gonna go put on my black shorts.
I'm in black shorts.
I'll go put on my black shorts.
No, where are those?
No, these are my nice shorts.
Are they? He just wants to match me. Before we start the planks in there, we're going to tackle this area here. We put this plank down, which continued all the way to the cabinets. And so this little area right here, we're gonna be working kind of in reverse of what we've been doing because you have the tongue right there. So we're gonna have to push in a board. That makes sense. Hopefully it's not too bad.
Groove right there.
The groove, yeah. All right, sounds like a plan. Do you guys ever struggle just getting started? So that's how I am right now. First cut of the day, how are you feeling?
Pretty confident.
Yeah?
Yeah, pretty confident. We can't end on that.
It's a big gap.
It's not straight.
Not surprising. I mean, it could be a combination of us. This is a pretty big gap. Yeah, this one is not pushed in all the way.
We may need to try to pry that in.
To take it all down. Yeah, this sucks. This is gonna be just like a sliver.
Alright, well.
After working our way to the cabinets, we found that we were left with a small sliver that required us to get the skill saw out and rip down one of the boards. We also noticed that we didn't get the boards that we had just put up quite pushed in all the way. So we had to take them down, take all the nails out, and then put them back up, but this time we used a crowbar to help push them in all the way. We ended up with a piece that was around 2 inches on one end and less than an inch on the other end. Although not ideal, it's in an area that probably won't even be noticeable, and it's also going to have a trim piece over it, and that will probably hide the majority of it. So things are not going very smoothly today. I made the mistake of taking the reins. I'll do this cut. I measured wrong, like by an inch. So anyways, and since we didn't take down the chandelier yet, that was a little more tedious. It would have been way easier if we'd just taken it down, but we don't know when we're gonna order and get that other one in, and we wanted a light there, so we didn't want to unhook everything. So we just did it the long way. First cuts for the recessed lights. Not bad. Good morning. Today we're going to finish the kitchen. We're gonna finish all the planks. Yesterday was not as smooth as we would have hoped. We made some mistakes. I think we just weren't feeling it very much, but we did make some decent progress. We were hoping we were gonna finish yesterday, but it's gonna be today instead. So let me show you what we did yesterday and what we have left. Okay. So we made it to where our first planks of the day are gonna involve the lights. So we have all of that left to do, which is really not that bad. Hey kiddo. Let's try it. Yeah?
Perfect.
It worked.
Perfect.
One down, one to go. That was a good tracing and a good cut.
Famous last words.
There's a lot to do, but we're almost done with the planks.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next? That was the last piece. Woo! Now comes some of the more tedious parts. Oh, it feels good to be done. Okay, let's look. Final board, and it was nice we got to finish with a full board. We finished with a full board, but we had to kind of shave off the tongue on the side of the wall because it was a little tight, but with a trim piece there, it covers it. Look at that. Good job, babe.
Good job, babe.
Now that we have all the planking done, we get to try and go around and cover up all the nail holes. Chris already covered a lot of them. He did the whole living room and part of the dining room where we had gotten to the other day. But anyways, we're gonna be using the same stuff. It's this patch and paint. It's like this whipped putty. And we go around and scrape it on. So to finish off the look around the border, we got a trim piece. We ended up getting this trim piece. This is actually the same stuff that we used for our trimming out the basement windows. It's kind of thin, very flexible. And I'll show you what it looks like going up.
Forgot my ear.
Okay, we're going to show you the two different options of the trim. You have the traditional in the sense of it being on the wall. Not bad. We would have had to gone with a thicker piece though, had we done it that way. But we decided to flip it up and do trim on the ceiling. So this is how we decided to do it. Instead of, flip it back down, instead of that. You can see it better over here. There we go. We got our 45s and then our finished piece. This is way easier to see on this wall. We're only partially done with this wall, but that looks good. And so we'll come back through and we'll caulk along the wall there where it meets the trim. And then once it's all painted, it's all just gonna kind of blend in together.
You know what we should have done is we should have like brought everything in an inch all the way around the border and then put a rope light.
No, this is not a dorm room. This is going on YouTube.
It's not coming to
Okay, that's gonna wrap up this video. It was a long process.
Yeah, it was.
Today, day 6?
Yeah.
I believe today was day 6. We're really happy with how it's turned out. We are gonna go ahead and finish the trim work and we're gonna patch those nail holes because we're actually having to put quite a bit of nails in there to keep it uptight, I guess. But we're gonna go ahead and finish that, and on the next episode, we're gonna be getting everything ready to paint. So there's some patches that we need to sand down on the walls from previously when we did things, on some of the baseboards, and we're gonna figure out maybe what to do with these doors if we're gonna paint them at the same time. We're still debating that.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how it turns out myself. The finish that we use, which I'm not sure exactly which finish we're gonna go with yet, it's gonna be the same. The ceiling, the walls, the baseboards, the window trim, it's all gonna be the same. So we'll see how that goes. I've seen this I saw it, I think, first on Instagram, and I can't even remember the person that posted it, but I loved it. And it was mixed emotions in the comments, and so, it's just gonna be whatever floats your boat. But anyways, we decided to put together a small list of some things that we learned along the way. It's really not that much, but just some tips in case
We're slow learners.
in case you wanted to try this at home. So first, I would say is you have to have a partner. I don't think either one of us would be able to do this solo. I don't see how you could hold them in place and do the nail gun plus pull them tight because the boards are not completely straight. I think you definitely have to have one person helping you. The laser level, I think, was also a good add. We actually bought that for this project. It's something that we've been wanting for a long time anyways, and this was just the perfect excuse to go ahead and buy it. But getting that first line, I think, and we used it a couple of times actually, but getting that first line really straight, I think helped get those boards, because the boards were kind of had a curve to them. And so I think if we didn't have that line, we would have just been exaggerating that curve with every single board that we put down.
You just don't want to get to the other end of the room and have this diagonal piece
right.
That is an eyesore.
Right. Know your tools. It took us a little bit to get down the laser level, but then also the jigsaw. We've used the jigsaw, I can't even remember what we used it for in the past. It was a little learning curve, but one, start with a fresh blade.
Start with the right blade.
Start with the right blade and a fresh blade. That was like our biggest problem to start, is we couldn't get those cuts down and we didn't know why, and we just thought that, I don't know, it was either us or
it was splintering the wood.
Or it was the wood, and it turns out it was us because we didn't know our tool. So we had the wrong blade, we had also a dull blade, but then we also realized that we could adjust the speed of the blade.
Of the jigsaw. By the end of it, we were pros.
Yeah. So
that's all you need to know.
We turned up the speed and it worked so much better. So just know your tools and then figure out what look you're going for. So our goal was to try and cover these seams. So we'll see once it's painted how well of a job we did. But we took the time to go back over it with that putty and try and cover up a lot of these seams. But we didn't care that it needed to be completely smooth. We did purposefully kind of a pattern of staggering some of the seams so that if some of them end up visible, there'll be kind of a randomness to it, if that makes sense. If you're going for a real rustic look, then maybe you don't even have to cover any of it with the putty, and you could just kind of leave it that raw look. It actually is kind of cool looking, but it's just not the style that we were going for here. We didn't care too much about the nail holes either. We knew we were going to be going back over the nail holes.
This tip comes from Bailey Boy 31.
Okay, so when we had the board up, we were initially going in here. So you can see it's thinner there. But we found that it was actually like the pressure for the nail gun, if we had the right pressure here, it wasn't enough pressure to go through the thicker one when they start overlapping, if that makes sense. So we ended up just going on both sides.
Yeah.
So instead
we
of
were
having
gonna have to cover one nail hole already, and so instead of risk breaking up more boards or spend time figuring it out, we just figured we would just
cover them all.
Cover all the nail holes anyway.
All right, that's it. Overall, this was a tedious, long project, but I think well worth it. If you guys remember those ugly textured ceilings, I'll take this any day over it. I wouldn't say it's finished. It's finished being put up. On the next episode, we will be getting everything prepped and ready to paint, and it'll be officially completed next time. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe,
comment
below.